Everyone blames leadership for not buying into Agile, but nobody's asking the real hard question. Are we speaking what they want to hear? All right, let's do this. Welcome back to Desperate Radio, where we talk about why work doesn't work. It's got to be a reason. And today we're going to talk about one of those reasons. Everyone blames leadership why Agile doesn't work. And anything that you bring to the table, it doesn't matter if it's just Agile, if it's a new tool, or if it's a new process, if it's an idea, everyone blames leadership. Well, they just don't listen. They just don't want to hear about it. Yeah, they don't. That's that. There, the cat is out of the bag. The secret is out. Yeah, they don't want to hear it because you haven't told them how it benefits what they're looking for. You're looking for a better way to do DevOps. You're looking for a better way to release. You're looking for a better way to function and communicate with everybody else. I'm not saying that leadership doesn't care about that stuff, but their priorities are different than yours. So what are you saying to them that's going to make them believe that what you're telling them is the right thing to do? Let's reel it back a little bit. Recent State of Agile data suggests that only a small fraction of organizations, about 1 in 7, actually have leaders that are proactively shaping Agile in their organizations. Those same organizations are under enormous amount of pressure to prove the ROI on their Agile adoptions. Those leaders are sweating. Meanwhile, practitioners are just stuck in the middle. And the funny thing is, a lot of practitioners, whether you're a Scrum Master, Product Owner, a Scrum team, Agile team, RTE, it doesn't matter. Whoever you are that is a SME, a subject matter expert in your field that knows what they're doing with Agile the right way, you're stuck in the middle because you're being told what to do, despite you knowing for a fact that that is probably not how you learn, or that's not how you practice at a more successful Agile team. The gap isn't motivation, it's translation. Business leaders think of cost, risk, and outcomes. Meanwhile, practitioners are living every day and they're thinking about sprints, velocity, DevOps, ceremonies. That's what they worry about. So, how do the two worlds meet? I'll give you a quick story that I've often said on this show before, and I often share with a lot of my friends. I once went to a meeting where there was a lot of executives, and they were discussing how they're going to fix things in the future, how they're going to bridge gaps, how they're going to meet certain things. My team and I were the Agile team that came in to explain why do they need Agile. It was a week-long ceremony, we'll call it, and we were supposed to only talk for 2 hours. We had a deck ready, we had metrics ready, we had case studies, everything ready for them. And I kid you not, folks, I was in there standing in front of a bunch of executives with their arms crossed like this, and I say it's the closest thing that I've ever felt to being in a firing squad. They did not want us up there. They didn't want to hear what we had to say. They wanted more so to tell us how whatever we were going to pitch them was useless. What's interesting was there were a few folks, and to me, this shows how badly the translation of the two worlds was happening in real life. On one side of the room, you had all these executives and all these business folks who just wanted the delivery of their ideas, their projects, their initiatives. Meanwhile, on the other side were these executives on the technical side. I kid you not, they were sitting on two separate sides of the room, and you can walk down that room as if Moses is splitting the Red Sea. And on that side, again, were all the executives from the technical side. They were, again, for a whole week, they were conversating about the state of the business and what to do going forward. And we were there as just a 2-hour solution idea that we want to present them in case they want to go with us. And once I pulled up the deck, my buddy and I pulled up the deck, and they looked at us. They didn't even bother waiting for us to say, here's what we think. We didn't even go past slide 2, I think. And they just start asking questions, one question after another. And at that point, I told my buddy, hey, let's just put the deck away. Let's just answer their questions. And that's what we did. We just answered questions. And at that moment, I realized that the group on the right was complaining about how the group on the left wasn't listening, while the group on the left, who's the business, was complaining that the group on the right is not explaining to them why things are taking too long. And that the business side wanted to be part of the ceremonies, the stand-ups, the retrospectives, and all that good stuff. Meanwhile, the technical side was pushing back and saying, no, you don't need to be on that. You just need to trust us. You need to believe us, yada, yada. And it just kept going back and forth until my buddy and I intervened and we said, folks, hold on. Let's see if we can bridge that gap right here. And we did. We started listening to what the business side was saying because we were an impartial party. So we actually heard what their pains are. But we're also subject matter experts in what we do, not just transforming Agile, but acknowledging and assessing the issues at hand. Then we listened to the technical side and we validated their point and we explained between the two sides what is it that they were missing. Would you believe it was just communication? It's just using the different kind of words. That's it. So we were able to explain why does the technical side of this room didn't want to have leadership in their meetings and their ceremonies and their retrospectives and their stand-ups and whatever else. And we were able to relay that message better than whatever they were doing. And then we explained from the other side the enormous pressure that this side of the business was under to make sure that they delivered, not just to be competitive, but to also service their clients and service their end users because they're in a dire need of that service. Not that these two folks or these two sides of the room didn't understand the pressure and the amount of work and the importance of the work, but sometimes, actually a lot of times, a lot of that messaging gets lost and it just gets messy and ugly. So we explained both sides. We explained the gap. We explained how both teams can benefit, how both sides can benefit. And we also explained, hey, by the way, you don't have to do everything that the playbook tells you to do. You just need to start with one thing that you can agree on. And wouldn't you know it, they did. They didn't let us stay there for 2 hours. They asked us to stay for the remainder of the day and the remainder of the week to make sure that they address every other question. And we did. We were up there for a couple of hours. We stayed after. They invited us after to their happy hour. We talked some more, came in the next morning, a couple more hours in the morning, stayed around as much as we can, and then we left. And as soon as we came back, signed a new contract, said, all right, let's do this. And we addressed their most immediate need, but we didn't address everything. We put everything on a roadmap. And we said, let's be successful with this thing right now because we know we can have a return on investment on this thing. And let's work together towards it. See, a lot of times when folks get certified, when they go to a workshop, they get really excited about what they've learned. I am speaking from personal experience. I was one of those people. I wanted to really tell people, hey, I know how to do this and we should do literally everything that I learned in that class. You're going to overwhelm people and they're going to shut you down really, really quick. But you have to find the right message. The problem isn't the framework. It really isn't. The problem is us. We don't know how to translate that excitement into a way that the recipient can understand it because we're talking two different languages. You have to lead with the problem, not the framework. You have to lead with where do you want to get to? You have to discuss where do you want to get to? What is the end result look like? What does success look like on both sides? And it's not about ego. It's not about selfishness. It's a lot of people in those places and probably where you are working today. You just want to make sure that you're successful at what you do, and you want to make sure you deliver a good work, and you want to be recognized for it. I'm sure you want to get paid for it too, but all that stuff is very important as well. You have to make sure that you map your Agile metrics to what matters to you right now. We're not dismissing everything that needs to be done. We're just addressing what needs to be prioritized right now. In the case that I just told you, what was really important is to identify what's a lean business case. This group wanted to implement portfolio planning and better PI practices and all the good stuff, which we did. But we start off with the most fundamental need, with the most important need. And that is, we help them identify what's the difference between a portfolio backlog, a art backlog, a program backlog, some call it, or a team backlog. We help them understand the difference between epics, features, stories, the hierarchy. So we start with a simple workshop. And from there, we took them and say, let's work with you on fixing some of those backlogs. And let's work with you to start building better lean business cases. We literally grabbed their hand, not literally, figuratively, grabbed their hand, and we started working with them on how to properly write a lean business case. Not just follow a template, question it. I provided them with a template, and as they were filling it out, I pushed back and I asked, what does that mean? And their response was often, well, I'm just filling out the template. Well, it's okay for you to question the template. You don't have to. Listen, it's meant to be a guide. It's not meant to be scripture. Question it. So it's okay for you to question what people want to know. Let's not make assumptions. You know what they say about assumptions? You can do this. Everybody watching this right now, they can actually do this. They can go talk to whoever they're trying to convince and just ask them, what end results are you looking for? And just take the ego out of it, yours and theirs. And just remember that the two of you are there to deliver something successful, profitable, and it's going to make the two of you look good. I challenge you to do just one thing. That's it, just one thing. Replace your next status report with one 5-minute outcome story. Just try it. What's the worst that can happen? Agile is not broken. See, all the things that people complain about why Agile doesn't work, whether it's the backlog is in shambles or whether leadership is not listening, or we're going to cover a lot of that in the next few episodes. It's not Agile. It's not the framework. It's not Scrum.org. It's not Scaled Agile Framework. It's not even PMP or PMI. It's none of that. It's us. We read something and we interpret it one way, differently from each other, and then we start forcing our interpretation on others when we're really just having a translation problem between us all. Leaders are looking for results that are different than the results that the practitioners and the developers are looking for. Agile is not broken. We are. And this is one of the places it shows up. This is the work that NextU does. I'm building a space where practitioners work through exactly things like this. And that's why I created the NextU. I am an Agile coach. I am an Agile consultant. I am an Agile instructor. And I've been through bad instructors and good instructors. I've been through bad Agile and good Agile. I've launched the NextU because I do believe that there are better ways of implementing Agile and people are just misled. And that's what you learn in the courses that I teach. I give you the certification that you want, but I also tell you, hold your horses, make sure you have a map of implementing this, and make sure you talk to the right people and say the right thing. Every practitioner that gets certified is empowered and is knowledgeable and is more than willing to implement everything that they've learned. You just got to slow down. And that's what the NextU does. This is the work that NextU does. Not just team training, not just team coaching, but executive alignment. Agile is not broken. We are. I'm building a space where practitioners work through exactly this. Find the link below. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. If you like what you heard today, please make sure you hit like, comment, subscribe, share this with somebody that might need it. Share this with somebody that may want to hear the message. Share this with somebody that may not agree with it. And if you don't agree with it, I'd love to hear from you. Let's talk about it. I'll even invite you on the show to come talk about it and prove me wrong. Hey, this has happened before. All right, folks, this will do it for us today. I'm Haas, and this is Dead Sprint Radio.